is rolling. Okay, here we go. This is us. I have in the house one and only Anthony Leone. Leone.
Here
you go. Almost got it right. So this is a collection of blueprints, and my name is Renars. And it's been like a couple of months since I was like, Anthony, can you come to my podcast? podcast?
I think a couple of months.
But every time he was like, yeah, just anytime, whenever you're ready. Then I struggled to get the place here and all that stuff, but he's here now.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, my man?
What's up, brother? Let's go.
Let's do this. So let's start with the very beginning. Tell me about a little bit where you're from, where you were raised, I guess like a little bit of your high school days.
Okay, easy. I'm from Long Island, New York. I grew up there my whole life pretty much until I was 19, and then I moved out to Hawaii, then moved to Thailand, and then been here in Bali for about 7 years now.
Yeah, because you said you were away from home for how long now?
It's been about like 12 years.
12 years.
Maybe a little bit longer.
It's actually very similar with me. I moved from Latvia 13 years ago to Canada. Lived in Canada for 3 years, and then it's been 10 years in UK now.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so for people to understand what the fuck is going on here, I'm at Anthony. He is my BJJ coach. He's black belt. Do you have
I'm a first degree black belt.
First degree black belt. I am 0 degree black belt. Yeah, I just got my first stripe in white belt. That's how I met Anthony, and I thought it would be sick to get him on the show and talk about a lot of things, not just about fighting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going back to where you grew up and what you did as a kid. So you have only one brother.
I got 4 brothers.
You have 4 brothers.
One sister, yeah.
Wow, that's a big family.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Big Italian family.
Well, my parents, they got divorced, and then both of them got remarried, and they both had more kids.
Oh, gotcha. So you have half brothers.
Andrew's actually my only full sibling.
Right.
And then, my other 3 brothers, are half, and then I have a sister. So
right.
And
Andrew Leone, he was actually my first coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time when I ever done BJJ.
He's a little nicer than me, right?
Bali MMA. No, actually, this is I want to talk about this. This is hilarious because you know how the people have the first impression.
Yeah.
You know, when you meet someone, you think, oh, he's so nice, awesome. Yeah. He's like so nicer. The first impression of Andrew, he's like, oh yeah, he's quite nice. Now I'm like, yeah, he can be quite an asshole.
Really?
Like with you, it's different. You come across like an asshole, but like if you a little bit warm up to you, like a little bit someone, and it's just like, yeah, I can see that. And it's just, well, I'm not saying that Andrew's total
I think he's
horrible person, but it's
Andrew's an asshole.
But yeah,
I think he said it.
Yeah, I just said it. Editing power, kapow! This is out. No. I love Andrew. He's cool, but also when I talk to other students, a lot of students think that you are just kind of a nicer in the sense of like maybe you're not that harsh. I'm not really sure. Like it's just preference of people, I guess. Anyway, so these 2 brothers who are here in Bali MMA teaching BJJ. How long you guys been teaching it here?
We opened up the gym.
You open up the Bali MMA?
My brother and Donnie, and we have another partner who's Indonesian.
Oh, shit. Yeah. How long ago?
It's almost 7 years ago now.
7 years.
We'll be coming up on our 7-year anniversary October. I think October 15th is like when we officially opened up the doors. And we didn't charge for like the first month or first 6 weeks. So I think December 1st was when we first started charging. We opened up our doors about 7 years ago. That
is so cool. I mean, you see, again, this is one of the reasons why I started this podcast. I would never know those things. Yeah, I mean, this is so cool to find that out. Cool. 7 years you've been doing this. Sorry, I kind of like running all over the place now. I want to talk more about your childhood. So we touched upon you have 4 more brothers. Yeah. So one is full brother, which is Andrew. You coaching together and fighting together, and then that. So what about your other half brothers and half sister?
So I have 2 half brothers from my dad's side. My dad, he just had boys. Mm-hmm. My whole dad's side of the family is all boys. No, my grandpa didn't have any girls. My dad didn't have any girls. My uncles didn't have any girls. So.
And you just had a boy.
Yeah, we just had a boy.
Hey, congrats about that, man.
Yeah. So then he had another 2 boys, and then my mom had a boy and a girl. Yeah, and my dad's kids, one lives in New York, one lives in Tennessee. And then I have a brother who's autistic who lives in like one of the special autism house, but it's like 2 minutes away from my house.
Right.
So it's like you could actually drive the golf cart there in a minute.
Right.
And he's there. And then my sister, she's away in college right now. She goes to veterinary school.
Right.
She's in her like second year of veterinary school.
Okay. Are you still close with your pops and moms?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Is it like typical Italian family?
Probably,
let's come together and
like
busting each other balls.
Oh man, it's not my dad. My dad won't do it.
Really?
My mom is like a savage. No. She's a savage, man. She's the worst I've ever met. I mean, in a good way, but
yeah.
But like my dad's like a classic Italian family where like they're just really sweet, making food all the time, blah, blah, blah. I mean, probably what you would see, like, in a movie, an Italian-American family. That's my dad's side. My mom's side is, like, you know, my grandpa's from Sicily, and he's got ties over there, and he's pretty wild. And my mom's a little bit, it's way more rowdier on my mom's side. Yeah.
I like when you said about your mom, she's a savage. Like, my mother is savage in the sense of sarcasm.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, like, growing up, the first language I learned was sarcasm. Yeah. And that's why I'm still single. I'm like, it's fucking horrible. I just say shit what I think, and I think people have a sense of humor and they understand you. But like, especially like Western cultures, they struggle with that shit. So when I lived in Canada, fuck.
Canadians don't get the sarcasm real well. They're too nice. They're
too nice. Like, how could you say these things?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you and Andrew, when you guys started to getting into martial arts, is like, and was it encouraged by your family, or was it like, just do guys whatever you want, just enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I mean, they took us to wrestling when we were 5.
Oh, okay.
And Andrew started actually like 3.
Wow.
So we kind of just started doing, that's almost a martial arts in itself, you know, wrestling. It's one-on-one combat, pretty much. Right. So we wrestled since such a little age, and continued to wrestle. Andrew wrestled in college. I wrestled all the way up to my last years in high school. I wrestled throughout all of high school, and then, I mean, if you're not gonna wrestle anymore, you're just gonna stop, right?
Yeah.
But then if you really want to go and continue, you're probably gonna get into MMA, and that was the next road for me.
Before we go there, so was that something, again, encouraged by your family, or was it just
wrestling?
Yeah, like wrestling. They would.
Well, at 5 years old, I wasn't driving myself.
No,
I didn't know what wrestling was at 5 years old.
Italian family, you don't know, man. What's fuck's going on?
I think me and my brother just wrestled and fought all the time, and my mom was like, "These fucking guys got to go somewhere," and
which is,
I don't know.
It's very smart. Like I don't want them to ruin my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let them get from fucking mats.
It out. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I just remember going to like wrestling maybe like 3 times a week as
Yeah.
one of my earliest memories, you know, of like just being on a mat. I don't even know if you're wrestling at 5. You're just kind of rolling around.
Cuddling.
Yeah, I don't even remember, but I just remember I remember like the mat smell to this day.
Right.
If I walk into a wrestling room, it brings me back to like 5 years old, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting then you say about these things, what we remember as a kids, because my first martial arts was karate, and I remember we did in my little town, which is like 6,000 people, little tiny town in Latvia.
Yeah.
And one of the places where we did train, it's where it's a shooting range.
Yeah.
And fucking shit. And shooting range, like the floor was rubber, the old school, like this Soviet rubber thing.
Yeah.
And we were bare feet in the middle of winter. It's freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
And we would run and train. And I remember the smell as well.
Yeah,
I literally remember the smell of that rubber and stuff.
And if you smell it again, it brings you right back to it, right?
100%. It's pretty intense. With other sports, did you guys get into anything else before you graduated high school?
Yeah, I played a lot of baseball. Andrew did too, but Andrew really just wanted to wrestle more.
Oh, okay.
Andrew really did. He actually took wrestling a little bit more serious than me, even though I took it serious. But like he really excelled at it a little bit more. But I played baseball my whole life. Like that was like the best sport in the world to me at the time. But and then that's it.
And then did you continue playing it just for fun or whatever after high school?
Yeah, well, I went to University of Hawaii for a year, and I walked on to their team, but then I didn't end up playing. So I wanted to like play in college, but like actually MMA was like such a big. I was just training MMA all the time, so it was like kind of like I couldn't do both.
This is again interesting shit going on here, because 10 years ago I was in Hawaii. I was considering to actually stay in Hawaii and to study in Hawaii because I got kicked out of Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your visa expired?
No, I was.
They don't let Latvia.
No, basically they've as I was coming back from LA, I went for a couple of days to visit my friend. I was already a student in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And as I was coming back, they decided to check my bag, and they found my notebook where I was writing down that I was working in the clubs and making some dirty cash.
Why were you putting that in notebooks?
Well, yeah, I'm like the most unorganized person, and I put those things down like a fucking accountant. I don't know why.
Okay.
It was just like because I needed tuition from university, and I don't know how much I make and all that stuff. Anyways, so she looked at it and she's like, "Listen, you're not allowed to work with this visa. What the fuck?" So you have two options: whether you deny, and we can send investigators in those places. If they found even one person say that you work there, we're gonna kick you out forever. Or you say okay, and I will ban you for 1 year. So I got kicked out and banned for 1 year. And then I end up going to LA, lived there for a little bit, and then a friend of mine had a flat, and he lived there as well. And he had a free room in Hawaii. He says, "Come over," and I came over. I was like, "Fuck, this is beautiful, amazing."
What island?
Surfing. It was the main one, which is Oahu.
Oh, the bigger, the smaller one. Yeah.
Yeah, is that considered?
No, the main one. I mean,
the main one. Yeah, and I remember like he had some friends from who studied there and surfed and whatever. And I was talking to one guy who was studying medicine, and I was even looking into like maybe I could start studying here, but like tuitions were fucking insanely expensive
in Hawaii.
Yeah,
for like I guess if you're not an American.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm proper like overseas student, so it would be really expensive.
Yeah.
And what did you study in Hawaii?
Actually, I just went over there to train at BJ Penn's academy. If you don't know BJ Penn, he was at the time. I actually went over there 14 years ago.
One of our guests here, his name's Maverick. He's now a stuntman, and he works in Bangkok. Okay. And he lived in Hawaii, and he mentioned about this academy. He did BJJ there.
Yeah.
And he said like, and then Chris was here at the time, and Chris was like, "Oh, but yeah, he's very famous." Was it BJJ or wrestler?
He was BJJ. He started with BJJ.
Yeah. So that's a famous place.
So that I just went over there to train there, and basically going to school was like just telling my mom and dad, like, "Oh, mom, dad, look, I'm going to school." But I really just went over there to train. Yeah, and then I stopped going. I dropped out after the second semester.
Oh shit.
And like really pursued MMA hard after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened when your parents found out that you were not going?
They were cool. I think I just told them straight up. I remember I told my mom we went to like Las Vegas or something for a jiu-jitsu tournament, and I saw her there, and I was like, "Mom, I don't really."
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. So they were not trying to push you.
No, super supportive parents. Like what, almost to the point where it's like, almost too. They think like, what if I were to tell them anything, they'd be like, "Yeah, we'll do it." Which is cool. Sick.
Why do you think could it be because like maybe their childhood was much harsher, like when they were teenagers, because their parents would say like you need to do this and that's it, you don't have an option, and then they thought like I want my kids to have that choice.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's probably the optimal way to treat the situation, as long as you're, as long as there's like happiness in the pursuit of what you're doing. It's probably the optimal way, and I think we're probably going through that as like generation thing. People are probably going to go through what they're going to want to do to things that they really are passionate about, instead of like just dragging on doing something they don't really want to do.
No, that is really cool. It's just like, again, where I was raised, there was so much about you are too young to understand. You're too young to make that decision. You have to go to university, get your degree, and that's the path I have a master's degree in business. And I feel like those 7 years it was awesome to go to all those parties and meet all those girls in university. But as a study wise, like what I gained from it, fuck all.
Yeah.
That sense, just kind of practice your brain to learn, memorize shit till your test and you're done. That's kind of the thing, but. Wow. Okay. Cool. So, and then you dropped out, and that's it. You just went for
just pursued MMA. I had my pro debut there in Hawaii, and then after that, I actually moved back to New York for a couple of years. I think like 2 years, and then I was just continually fighting MMA and stuff, and then moved out to Thailand, and I was there for 3 years in Phuket, and then we got the opportunity to open up this gym in Bali.
Nice, the famous Phuket. I went to Phuket last year, which is 2 years ago. I was like, I don't even know what.
Corona's scratched that out.
Just 2 years just disappeared. But I went to Phuket, and the main reason why I went there because they have 3 wakeboarding parks there.
Yeah, I've been to one of them.
Yeah, I do wakeboarding. I've done it quite a lot.
It's the one that goes. I've been to the one that goes this way, and they said that it should go the other way.
Not really.
Where was it?
Oh no, actually, it's interesting. Goes this way. It goes to get there. You need to go downhill, like little downhill kind of thingy. And it's on the side of the road. You just go the road, and there's a climbing wall near next door.
There, I don't think there was a climbing wall when I was
there.
Oh,
so that because there are 2 other ones.
I think there was 2 other. I think this one might have shut down.
Yeah,
it was sick, man. It had all these sick ramps and stuff.
Because the one which I went mainly. I actually just went to that one, to be honest. I knew that there was 2 other ones, but I just was so close to that one which I was mentioning. One was near airport. That was like a fancy one, apparently. I don't know. Anyways, so that was the main reason why I went there. But I also went to some Muay Thai gyms.
Yeah, which ones?
There was this one, it's kind of quite small one, because I wanted to stay away from the big ones because they're like expensive and it's all about like give us the cash. I stayed in one little one and I didn't train too much, just kind of understand what's going on. One of the main things about Phuket was shitty. You go on these beaches, you all have all these fat Russians just lying there and drinking their beers and stuff.
Didn't you feel like you were at home?
Yeah, almost.
When I was there from 2012 to like 2011 to 2014, and it didn't fully develop into what it was now. Like you started seeing sides of it, and that's when you saw the Russians start overflow the place. And like Russians are cool. For the most part, they're
no. Like
the ones that train, the Russians that train.
Dude, like we just taking piss all the time. My second language is Russian. I was raised among Russians. I don't have anything against Russian culture and Russian people. Most of them are fucking awesome. Yeah, it's just again, this is just a Bali culture here. We're just taking piss out of them because there's so many of them. And when you turn around,
Russians they get.
I know they get slated. I know
everywhere.
It's kind of not cool, but at the same time, it's just funny.
How do the Russians feel about that?
Yeah, but
I've always wondered that.
But can you imagine if there would be 80% here in Bali would be Latvians? Wouldn't you not take piss out of Latvians? Would it be Italians? Would it be Aussies?
I don't know if anybody really knows Latvians.
But they would. Then they would. When they would be on every corner, like you have a Latvian.
It's like a little. It's like the armpit of the USSR, right?
It's a tiny pubic area of USSR. What the fuck?
I'm not sure if that goes up on the Google Maps.
It doesn't. You have to type twice. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just joking.
No. How dare you? It's funny. Like anytime when I say where I'm from, like usually people, like what the fuck is that? And then like, what language do you speak? There I say Latvian. Oh, Latin. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's just like doctors and priests. Yeah, especially priests.
You must be speaking to some Americans about that, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do like the Americans who come over. It's interesting with them as well. Like they never heard ever Latvia before, and now they're there.
Well, I could vouch for that for sure. If I've been living in Thailand. I lived in Thailand and met so many Eastern Europeans, so I know. But like, if I was in America and then came to Bali and met somebody who's from Latvia, I would be like, "Oh, is that a city in Russia?" Which I still think it is.
Yeah. Do you guess what's the population in Latvia?
I would say 11 million.
Less than 2 million.
Way.
We're 1.8. 1.8. Capital of Latvia is Riga, where population is 1 million. And that's like where the entire Latvia is pretty much hanging out.
Yeah, I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, it's tiny as fuck. It's right under. Do you know where Norway, Sweden is?
Yeah.
Norway, Sweden, Finland. Those are 3 Nordic countries. Yeah. Right under them goes Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania.
Okay.
3 Baltic countries.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we are bordered on right side Russia. So we border Russia, and then under us goes Poland, and then Germany, and all that. Yeah, it's just like how many people know actually all the states in United States, and
if you're not from the States.
Yeah, exactly. So
I wouldn't expect.
Yeah, in European you would ask them. So
Americans don't even know that.
Tell me the state. Oh, California. I know California. I know. What else do I know? I know Seattle. which
That's not a state.
It's not a state. It's a city.
Yeah.
I know, right? So here you go. And it's like, and this is annoying when Europeans are like, how dare you not know my country? And then you as American, you should be like, okay, name fucking states then.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
There you go. Okay, enough about geography. Listen, congratulations, you being father, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's your first child.
Yep, first child.
And it's a boy. And what is his name?
Raphael Rocco Leone.
Rocco Leone. Shit.
We wanted to name it Rocco so bad, but
how close you were to Rocky?
I wanted to really name it Giuseppe.
Okay.
That was like the real goal, and it was like all my friends were involved in the plan to like persuade my wife.
What is the story behind Giuseppe?
Oh, it's just such a good name.
Okay.
I think.
So there's no like celebrity or anyone.
Oh no, I just thought it was a great old school Italian name.
Giuseppe.
That nobody's like named it.
Hello, my name is Giuseppe. Yeah. I'm here to take.
Or like when he becomes an uncle one day, Uncle Giuseppe. I don't know. That's what we really wanted, but stuck with Raphael.
Raphael, that's pretty cool.
Raph is pretty cool. I like
cool.
that name.
And I like it also like when people give names and it's like, how is it give me shirt version? Do you have shirt version of it? You know,
Rafa.
And Rafa, that's what I'm saying. It's cool for yours. And so you've been married now for how long?
2 years almost, man. 2 years and like a month.
And sorry, what was your wife's name?
Olivia.
Yeah. How long you guys been together before that?
6 years.
6 years.
Or no, before that about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you guys met here?
We met in Thailand actually.
You met where?
In Thailand.
In Thailand.
Yeah. And then we just kept up the communication.
And was it like she also did BJJ or?
She did BJJ. She was living in England, so she was like traveling back and forth. And then,
Nice.
Yeah,
you guys look very cute together.
No, thanks, man.
She's like half head taller, is she?
She's a lot taller than me, but that's not saying much. It's not saying much.
I know. Listen, I'm not like fucking 6 feet tall. I had my first girlfriend was a little bit taller than me, and I loved it. Yeah. And for some reason, have you noticed that, or do you have that taller girls are actually attracted to you instead of like your height girls? I don't know why. I just had that. Like all the time, it feels like they just want to come and cuddle you.
They probably want to pick you up.
Yeah, pick you up, and then they're like, "Ooh, I'll pick him up in the bedroom." Yes. But I noticed that a lot. I'm not kidding you. This. So when I worked in UK as a dancer, performer, very often we would like meet all these girls, and usually the tallest ones would come over. You're so cute.
Oh, really?
Hello.
I had a buddy who was shorter than me, and he was a wrestler, and he wrestled at like 119 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilos. Like 52 kilos or something.
Oh, shit. That's and like...
She was like on the basketball team, and she was like 6'4", 6'2". Like, I'm not even joking. And it was just wild. She was a whole foot taller than him.
Wow. But it's like, back in the days, you would say, wow, that's bizarre. Now... the ballers have tall girlfriends.
Oh yeah, am I gonna get in trouble for saying that? No, I thought it was cool. I thought he was the man for like pulling that off.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like nowadays, like a Hugh Hefner walks with his tall girlfriends and stuff. It's like that's considerably cool.
Is Hugh Hefner still alive?
No, he's died. Right. He died unfortunately. Like that guy was like he was insane. I loved his stuff.
That's a wild life.
Okay, so this is gonna be our first segment, 23 minutes. Boom. And out is rolling.
Pussy, 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 pussy.
Pussy, pussy, pussy. Pussy, pussy. Is that anthem for Leone family? How old are you now?
34.
34?
Yep.
Fuck, you look like 25.
Nah.
You look very young.
Do I?
You act very young. Yeah. Very childish.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, honestly. I will,
dude.
you know. How old do you thought I was when you met me first time?
43.
Fucking dick. Come on, be honest. Don't lie.
36.
36?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, because I just like talk shit all the time, and I'm like a kid.
It's all the wrinkles though.
Oh, the wrinkles.
The wrinkles got you.
Balls. Yeah, I'm 37.
Fucking good.
Yeah, shit. I don't know. Like so often, people who meet me first time, they just see me for a little bit. They're like, oh, it's like 30 something.
The sun doesn't hit the Russians as well as it should hit the Italian Americans.
Yeah.
You guys aren't used to that so much up there.
Yeah, but Latvians is different. I like how everyone just put me in the same box. In the UK, the same shit. I was like, they would go.
30 years ago, you guys were the Soviet Union, though, right?
Not even 30, 20, like 27.
27, yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. 30. I was 7 years old when it collapsed.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of it?
Oh, fuck yeah. It was some of the shit. It was crazy.
Was it wild? How was it like before? Like with all the, I mean, was it tough?
So I would say one thing.
Because my brother's wife is Russian. So
but she's quite young though.
She's a little bit younger than you.
Yeah, she's a little bit younger. So I didn't witness too much of the Soviet Union, obviously, because I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. But for example, like I used to go in kindergarten with Russian kids. So we had the Latvian side and again Russian side.
Okay.
And so I learned Russian at a very early age. I think the biggest thing what I remember from the Soviet Union was the films and the cartoons, because that's what we grew up with.
Yeah.
And it was interesting how, they were pushing that Soviet Union ideology through the cartoons, through the films. But one thing for sure, man, like their comedy genre, like films, they were insanely good.
Really?
Yeah, they were so good. They were like with the depth, with like really good sense of humor.
Yep.
And I remember around that time, that's where like Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura came out. And
27 years ago.
Well, no, like later.
Okay.
Later, but how to say this is like we grew up with those comedy, whatever stuff, and then Ace Ventura comes out. That was one of the first where we had international or foreign comedies coming in, which was like dubbed in Russian. Yeah. Obviously, we wouldn't like get the real stuff. And I remember my father saying like, "What kind of piece of shit is this? Like, there's no sense of humor. There's no all I do is slapstick stuff, right?"
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, yeah, this is very interesting. Well, afterwards, like there were some better comedies, but still Americans were more like the slapstick genre and like
Still to this day.
Yeah, it's still to this day.
Quick laugh.
And Americans would and Russians would never do that. If they would, it would be very rarely.
They're going to draw it out in a really cold way, aren't they?
Like a Cold War, exactly. That's their comedy as well.
Go on and on and on, waiting for
No, dude. Like you definitely chat with your brother's girlfriend, and she maybe can give you show some comedy stuff.
She doesn't laugh,
but it's difficult if you don't understand the language. That's the problem.
No, I bet. Well, I bet it's probably the same way though for bringing over like a Jim Carrey movie, and it could be like the translation could just not be totally there.
I totally agree as well.
But I haven't seen one of those movies in so long. But Jim Carrey's a pretty funny dude.
He's very funny, dude. But it's just a different stuff. It's just different jokes, man. Like when you raised all your life with one sense of humor, like here, I've been here for 6 months now in Bali, and all we make fun of Russians and locals and all that stuff. You just kind of get so used to it. This is like the local stuff, and you think that's funny, I said, now next week I'm gonna go to UK and I'm gonna crack a joke about Russians. They'll be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
And say sorry all the time.
Yeah. Sorry.
My wife's half English.
She is half English.
She's half English, half Singaporean, but she'll never apologize.
Oh.
So she missed that.
Yeah. Do you say sorry?
No.
Italiano. What about you going to your old country?
I've been there many times.
Yeah?
I fought there once.
You fought there once?
Which was pretty sick. I fought in Rimini, Italy. And, yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, I won.
You won?
It was sick. Got the main event slot. But it was wild. I fought for a Russian promotion. It was called ACB.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a promotion from Dagestan.
Right, where the Habib is from.
Yeah. And now it's called ACA. And so I fought in Chechnya, Dagestan, Russia a bunch of times. And they were going out of the country. And they were doing a show in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So I messaged them. I was like, I got ancestors. I'm Italian, blah, blah, blah. They're like, perfect. They gave me the main event slot. And then they did it in this place called Rimini, Italy in April. Rimini, Italy doesn't get any people in it until the end of June, till like August, September. It's a summer
seasonal
spot.
Seasonal place.
Yeah, it's on the water, and nothing's open until June. So we get there. We had no idea. Me and my Donnie was my cornerman. We get there. Everything's closed. So a few restaurants are open. All the hotels are closed. It really looks like a ghost town. And we go see we're going to the fight and stuff, and the arena's like 10,000 seat arena, pretty big one.
Mm-hmm.
There was 25 people.
Oh my God.
25 people.
How special did you feel?
Well, at that point, you're just like, these Russians just didn't understand what was going on. Like,
yeah.
They didn't understand promotion. They didn't understand marketing. They didn't understand the time of the season.
When was this?
This is like 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
But then I stayed in Italy for a couple of weeks after that.
So who do you have in Italy there? Do you have your grandparents still there?
Nah, my grandparents are in Long Island.
Oh, they're in
their parents moved here when they were like 2.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so when my grandparents were like 2. So they don't speak English. They don't speak Italian though, my grandparents. Right. Even though my great grandparents only spoke Italian. At the time of America, like where it was, if you were speaking Italian, they were like almost looked down on it.
Oh, really?
many years ago. So my great parents never spoke to their kids in Italian, and they didn't really know how to speak English. So they didn't even have like an open line of communication too much for years because they barely spoke English. So
what was the reason for your grandparents to move to States, or that was your grandparents' parents?
I guess times were tough back then. I think that was like World War II.
Yeah.
And it was really tough in Italy. And they moved to America for a better life.
Yeah.
And they got citizenship by fighting in the war, my great-grandparents. I think he fought in World War I, and then my great uncles, like my grandpa's brothers, fought in World War II.
When do you look at your grandpa's like old photos? Do you see yourself there?
Oh, 100%. I mean, me, my dad, and my grandpa, it's like identical.
Oh, shit.
It's crazy.
It's creepy, isn't it?
I could show you a picture of my dad, and you could be like,
wow,
that's 100% you. But then my brother looks completely like my mom. So it's like, it's wild.
You mean Andrew?
Yeah.
Andrew looks like your mom.
Exactly.
I thought like he's more like a feminine side.
Personality-wise, they're very similar. And like, because Andrew doesn't joke around that much.
Yeah.
But if he does start to joke around, he's a savage. But I think he like holds himself back because he knows what kind of savage he can be. So he's always like containing himself.
But this is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You. When we just met, like he was just this nice, and then
that's not him.
Yeah, and then he, and then Andrew, we love you, man.
No, Andrew's the nicest dude in the world, and I mean savage joking around in a fun way. But he wants to stay like more professional, where I've just given up on that, and I just want to like just enjoy the time, have fun, make sure everybody's having a good time, blah blah. But
well, that's interesting. Again, like my sister, I have a 5 years older sister. She's like complete copy of my father, right? And I'm complete mommy's boy.
Yeah, so and like look alike and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. My mom is she's like, son, go lift some weights. Yes. And no, the personality-wise, yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
Very, very, very similar. Yeah, it is the gene pool and how that works, and like let's see your son how that's gonna come out, and it's gonna be again another copy of you.
Now he looks exactly like his mom.
Oh, really?
Every single thing. Like you look at a picture of Olivia when she's a baby and Rafa, it's identical.
That's cool. So now when you get if you have another child, are you guys thinking about another child? Not yet?
Yeah, but in a couple of years.
Yeah. So if that's going to be a girl, that's going to be a copy of you.
Yeah, probably. Bless her soul. I don't know if I can have girls, though, like I said.
Yeah. You have a history.
Which I'm okay with.
But there's certain ways you need to, the rituals you need to do to...
Sarah, I've heard about these rituals.
You should try them. And tell me how it goes.
I'm not trying to have a girl.
It's like in the middle of the night, when the moon is full, I need to expose my butt cheeks and dance around the pool.
Bali's into that stuff.
Yeah.
Bali's wild with this stuff, right?
The ritual
the full
shit?
moon stuff. Or like I recently deleted like Instagram and Facebook. I just couldn't handle it anymore. And you just see some of the stuff that pops up, like this full moon, this, I don't know, flat earth stuff. It's like we're just going back in time. I feel like
anything.
sometimes.
Like I just found out ecstatic dancing. I never seen that shit before.
That's cool though. I could give a upvote.
Yeah,
to that.
but still, someone who comes from like normality in some sense, and they see like 10 o'clock in the morning, these guys are just like doing all the shit.
Or with like the headphones on. Did you see it? Where you just bring your own music.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
And you put your headphones on, so it's completely silent.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that one. I know the concept of it. There's like you have a headset and you have like different channels and you can change different music or whatever, or you just take your own music.
I thought it was you take your own music.
Because I thought like you come in, there's a DJ or maybe more DJs, but then you could go from one DJ to another DJ, which one you want to listen at the time.
I don't know if Bali's that sophisticated yet for that.
But I just heard that kind of concept before.
Could be.
Oh, Bali.
I love it.
No, Bali's amazing.
Man, you get a lot more freedom here than you would anywhere else.
Especially now. Man,
it's been this Corona time. I was here the whole time. Yeah. And I don't even know what it's like in the rest of the world. All I hear is I talk to my friends a little bit, and they're whining and stuff and saying how bad it is. And I got family that lives kind of all over the world, and they're telling me about it. And like for a couple months here, it was like a little weird. Yeah, but we were never stuck in our house. We never had to like. There was one point where the beach closed down for 6 weeks, and that like couldn't surf or nothing.
That was devastating. Everyone was just like killing themselves.
Yeah, we found a bunch of beaches to go surf at for the most part, but like it never got full on weird. Yeah. There was one time where I was driving in the middle. I was driving, and they have this big truck, like this water truck, and they put bleach in the water, and they're just spraying the streets, and like. You had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, I'm smelling bleach. I'm getting sprayed in the face with this water. And I was like, what are you guys trying to do with this?
Oh, my God.
Like, would that work? Just go around with a big water truck, put a little bleach in it, spray the streets, and be like, Corona's fixed.
Yeah, take a photo of it and post on a local, government website that the government's doing something about it. Have you seen ever like how they go on beaches? Like they have the convoys or whatever, like group of 5 or 6 police officers. They come down on the beach. And they make sure they talk to people around, put your masks on, that they take photos. And so they've done their work.
It's in Bali.
Yeah, and then just leave. Yeah. That's one of the good.
I mean, when all this stuff started kicking off, that was happening a lot.
Oh, dude, in London was pretty bad. So I was the first lockdown happened in London was kind of it was sad.
Yeah, I mean,
people couldn't leave anything, couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, go for water. And but still, you hear stories like some in Hong Kong or whatever. They live in these tiny apartments. They're not allowed to leave them. France was really bad to the point where like you want to go to the store, you need to sign out and then sign in, and then every time you go somewhere, you need to tell where you're going. So it's I think even where I stayed in London, I got it pretty easy. Like I could get out and swim in Thames, and I was jumping off the bridges, and I was practicing on a motorbike. I had the spaces where I do the stunt riding and stuff, so I was fucking lucky in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, we closed the gym for 6 weeks because at the start of it we were like a little bit nervous. We didn't really know, and then we opened back up, and it's been like, sometimes we were having like 45 people in jiu-jitsu class. Yeah, like when the whole world is shut down.
Yeah, because I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that you come in and BJJ is probably the most COVID unfriendly or COVID friendly. Yeah, you literally swallow other person's sweat falling in your face. It was all good
though. I mean, we had a couple little hiccups, but like for the most part, and I'm talking like a year ago, like when all this shit was really popping off and people really weren't allowed to leave and nobody knew if there's like 40 people coming to jiu-jitsu class still, like not giving a fuck, Like I remember when we opened up the doors and we had our first class. Everybody was like, at first they were coming to the gym and they wouldn't shake hands with you. And it's like, bro, we're about to sweat in each other's mouth right now.
Exactly.
Your sweat's going to be in my mouth. Give me a hug, dude. I haven't seen you in 6 weeks. All good. And, fuck.
Yeah, for me, it was like when I saw that and I just got here and I was like.
So did you see that when you were not here? Did you see Bali MMA's like we didn't really post too much about it just because we didn't want to like.
Well, how did I find out about Bali MMA? Someone told me just go check it out. It's a good gym. Oh, I know. It was this girl. Her name is Viva. What's up, Viva? If you're watching this, she's a high diver. So when I got here now. Her boyfriend is. Her boyfriend.
The Swedish guy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dave.
I got such a funny story about her, but I forget exactly what she said because she's from Switzerland, right?
Yeah. She's from Switzerland.
Her first language isn't English.
No. So
she's probably gonna hate me for this, but it's like a great story. She was training here about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and she wrote something on her. She posted a story on her Instagram about somebody holding pads for her. You know Ryan from
yeah, of course I know
Australian Ryan.
Yeah.
He was holding pads for her, and she was like, "What did she say?" She's like, Now you're gonna fucking smash me, or like something like really sexual, or like it was worse than that. Actually, I can't remember. I asked her the other day.
Oh, Ryan smashed me.
No, it was like no. She had the word "fucking" in there.
Oh no.
And smashing, and it was like together in a really not the way you do it. Like it was like if you were to read it, you'd be like, Ryan fucking smashed her.
Yeah.
And fuck, I gotta find it. But when we take our break, maybe I'll go look for a second.
There you go. Then we're gonna, if you find it, I can just screenshot and then post it. So
I'm sorry, but that's.
Viv is cool. She doesn't care. She's an awesome girl.
Cool.
And so Viv told me about Bali MMA, and that's how I got to Bali MMA. Sick. And I went straight away to Muay Thai because, like, for me, it was mainly striking. Yeah. And then the reason why I tried BJJ, the reason I started BJJ was that in stunt industry and in the rest of the world, it's just such a trendy thing. Everyone is talking about it, right? Yeah. And I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, so he can't shut up about it. So
does he talk about it a lot?
So much.
Does he?
And I mean, like, in a good way. Yeah, and because of him, so many also stand-up comedians are doing BJJ now. Right. Peter Russells, who's Canadian stand-up guy. He's a fucking amazing stand-up comedian. I think he just got his purple belt, I think.
Really?
Then in the Russell Brand, who is a British stand-up guy, like beard and tall dude. He's doing it, and he's literally doing podcasts and talking about it, how BJJ changed his life and stuff. So there's a lot of going on. And listen, like, since I've been doing it now, it's been now 6 months, like 5 months, because I had a freaking salmonella in the very beginning and I was very sick. But honestly, there's just nothing you can compare it with. I mean, I dipped my toe a little bit in wrestling, which I thought was really rough. Like, it's like if you've never done it, then you start with like older age when you're like,
it's not this. Wrestling's probably not the most ideal sport to start after, like. It's a great sport. It's my base. I love the sport, but it's a much tougher sport on the body when you start.
Yeah. Because I tried a little bit when I did judo. So I got my brown belt in judo when it was like 7 years ago. Yeah. But I was so fast forward to get my judo belt because I needed kind of a grading for my stunt register, for British stunt register. Okay. And some of the boys said, like, go for judo because that's the fastest you can get the grading. Yeah. And I honestly enjoyed it. I loved doing judo, but it was just mainly with I'll just get the grading and I got my brown belt so quick. But I went for some competitions. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And when we did BJJ, right after our class, judo, right after our class, there's always wrestlers. And I was like, I'm going to stay for a couple classes. And I was like, fuck, they were so strong. Like, you try to do something, like, they don't have a freaking neck. It's just like, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, the wrestlers are tough. You probably would have been good at wrestling.
Yeah.
Just the body type and stuff. But it's a tough sport. It's If I didn't start wrestling at a young age, I would probably be like, get fucked with this shit, because it's just grueling. Every movement is just like so physical.
Yeah. So I thought this is a good segue for us to start to getting into talk about BJJ a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, just started, one of the first things what I definitely noticed is that it's just the certain moves and certain things are so unusual. And even though I would consider myself being in good shape, I've been training pretty much all my life, doing stunts, doing different stuff. I still was like, almost every time after I done my class, I was just done. I could come home, fall in bed and fucked. Do you remember, well, for you it's so different because you did wrestling so much, but like still, how was that transition for you from wrestling to BJJ? Did you continue still doing wrestling, or you stopped wrestling and then did BJJ purely?
I mean, I started BJJ for MMA.
Right.
So my career path isn't solely devoted to jiujitsu. Mm-hmm. So I was doing everything, like wrestling all the time, kickboxing, boxing, and jiu-jitsu. So, but as far as like, coming from a combat sports background and that one-on-one competition, that was very normal to me. Like I imagine somebody who's coming in a little bit later into jiu-jitsu where they have to test themselves physically against another person when they haven't grew up doing it could seem a little bit abnormal. I see it's people either do two things. They don't like it and it's not for them.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. If you're not going to like one-on-one competition, physical competition, jiu-jitsu is probably not for you. But then you see people that are kind of like, all right, they're weird about it. I don't know. And then they fall in love with it. And so it's like kind of those two roads with jiu-jitsu. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like the one-on-one competition. As long as you're not like competing with like, you know, everybody else or a singular person, like as long as you're like kind of competing against yourself, you're gonna fall in love with it. I mean, it's a cliche thing to say about martial arts or probably life, but like you just have to kind of compete with yourself, and then you're gonna that love for that is just gonna grow you into a better martial artist.
And there are so many different aspects actually about BJJ. What I noticed, what you fall in love with. I think the first one for me was the community. None of the other martial arts I've done in the past, like never kickboxers. I've done kickboxing, I've done boxing, karate. I would never feel that kind of sense of like camaraderie and like just kind of. And is it because we just hugging each other all the time? And is it because and everyone really works their asses off? Like the amount of time I see guys were just literally passing out almost after they've done the roll because they're so exhausted, you know.
I think for me it's an easy one to see. Because I've done both for so many years, and I love the kickboxing and boxing community, you know, but the jiu-jitsu community is something I could fall in love with even more because in jiu-jitsu, like we all have the ego, right, for martial arts or whatever it is, right? In boxing or kickboxing, you could get away with that ego a lot because you're not sparring all the time. You're not sparring hard all the time, right? And then when you do spar hard and you do have an ego, you get butt hurt a little bit. You get a lot of people get butt hurt real fast in boxing and kickboxing because they think they're here, but they find out they're here, and they don't know how to deal with that. Where jiu-jitsu, you might think you're here, and you might really be here, but you're gonna get that beat out of you real fast. Like if you have an ego in jiu-jitsu and you think you're the best, you're not gonna do it for that long because every single day, we spar 100% every single time we train, right? So you can't do that in other sports. So you're getting that ego just beat out of you, right? So that's probably where that you know, we're pushing each other every single day. We all know exactly what we're going through. At the end of the day, we don't even really care if I could beat you.
Exactly.
You could beat me. Let's just get better and evolve from that. And hopefully that's what I try to do in my class. You know, we don't want that ego there. And if people have those egos, they kind of get out real fast.
Awesome. This is the second segment. Anthony just said that he needs to go to the class to teach the class, and I'm like, I need to go to be in that class. It's no gi.
No gi.
BJJ.
That class that's one of my favorite classes to teach.
Yeah. When you started BJJ, was it straight away gi or no gi? Because for you, though, it's more no gi stuff, right?
I started no gi. Yeah, I did a little bit of gi, no gi, and then like I was on the big pursuit of MMA for years, and then so I mostly did no gi. And then for the last 10 years, I've really done a lot of gi.
Right.
A ton of gi.
Yeah.
The last 10 years. But like the first...
This much of gi. Okay, we were talking about the second segment. You mentioned about the ego, which I love that concept, and I hear that all the time. Yeah. And I could experience that straight away on my skin as well. I think I'm strong. I've done so many different martial arts. Yeah. And then someone who's weaker and just know the technique just fucks me up. And I love that. Yeah. And now... When I roll with someone who just started, like for example, we have one of the guys, Australian guy. What was his name? Oh, geez, the big.
Cody?
No, not Cody. Cody's tiny. Yeah. Cody's small. Come on.
What is that big? And
no.
That was a joke.
Jamie. Jesus,
Jamie,
like yeah. Jamie, so, you know, like when he came first time, and he's lovely, sweetheart, and you know, really lovely guy. Yeah. And like I saw straight away, he's stronger than me, right? Yeah. But I could submit him. Yeah. But what I've loved in the last 3-4 weeks, he really picked up his game, and now he submitted me a couple of times, and I was like, wow, this is such a big improvement. Yeah.
Hey, you could really. That's the thing with that. You could really see improvements with jiu-jitsu, like.
Yeah, in very, very, very fast in the very beginning. And then, okay, so let's talk about like through the belts, like when people stagnate the most. As far as I know, the biggest stagnation is the blue belt. So it's the hardest one to get is the purple belt. Is that true, or is that what you think? Or
I think it depends on per person. Like, I think if you're doing jiu-jitsu to get the belts, I think that's going to be the wrong approach.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to be like short-lived career.
Yeah,
I think because at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is kind of tough.
Yeah,
you're physically going against another person physically. You got to be doing it for another reason. But I think it's all got to be a little bit of a journey. We got to look at the belts like white to blue. That's where you're just. It's not even a development. It's just a basic understanding of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
and then your blue to purple is what I would want to see is like the development of your game. Let's see what strategies you're putting together. Now we should be looking at like certain like, all right, if I'm gonna pass, I want to see what you're gonna do with that pass after. And then if he defends, I want to see you have an answer for that defense. Or if somebody's attacking you, I want to see you have an answer and stuff like that, And then, so it might take a little bit longer, right? It depends on each person. And then your purple to brown, that's when we start seeing your game plan being used. That's what most people would want to see. And we want to see you attacking and seeing you starting to submit these higher belts, these brown belts. Maybe black belts. Maybe you're attacking black belts and seeing how you do with them. And then the brown belt is basically about cleaning up the game, being more precise, really having a game plan with it, going from sequence to sequence, have a basic more than a basic understanding of all of jiu-jitsu. And brown belt's usually the quickest belt.
Yeah,
you get the black belt quite fast.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, and then black belt. I mean. Now that I'm a black belt and I've been a black belt for 6 years, I never actually looked at getting a black belt because I was just obsessed with MMA. So the black belt kind of just came with that journey. But being a black belt now is like, I wish I had the mindset. Or like just being excited to be a white belt because you get to experience, you get to develop your whole jiu-jitsu game without having any skills yet, and you get to like build a really nice foundation in jiu-jitsu where people sometimes don't concentrate on the foundation they're building, and then it gets like it's very rough at you. It's a lot harder. So it's like being a white belt. That's such an exciting part if you really
and
like
very very important part.
Super
foundation
important.
Just like foundation for building a house.
Yeah, exactly.
You
build
rush
this.
and then goes. That's all over the place.
Exactly. And you'll find that out in the later years. So it's like build that foundation, be curious about it, and don't care about it.
100%. 100%. And it's like in a very I once in a while I said to Anthony, it's like, why am I not getting another stripe on my white belt? And he was like, oh, just shut up. Just,
Who's this?
You.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this? But at the same time, like I have so much experience with being with the belt stuff, right? When I did judo, I remember as soon as you get higher belt, you almost like, oh shit, the lower belt just kicked my ass. It's like, do I want there? Like, was I rushed there? With karate, when I used to compete in European level, I used to go into these competitions, and I remember I had a blue belt and I kicked the ass to brown belt, and then I realized like no one gives a fuck what kind of belt you have. What can you show me on the on the mat? And the only thing what I think is good about the belt system is like especially when you come to the club, you've never been there before, you at least can be like, okay, that's a purple belt, so they understand what is going on. There's a more chance of that. But it's annoying when, even though we say like we leave our egos outside the club or in front of the door, whatever, but so often you see whenever the grading is happening, as soon as someone gets the belt or whatever, they just like, oh yeah, you see I'm fucking blue belt.
Is it?
Yeah.
At our gym?
Yeah, you can see that. But it's it feels like just the guys who are, I don't know.
I think for me, I'm always excited to give somebody their belt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very exciting to, like, see how happy they are. But I hope for the most part, we don't want to give belts to boost anybody's ego. The belt is given because they really deserve it. So.
Did you hear this thing I was just recently saw on one of the podcasts? They were talking that I don't know if it's other countries in the world, but in States there's certain gyms where they basically right when you become part of the member, they say, oh, if you come this amount of hours, you're gonna get this belt. You get this amount of hours, you're gonna get that belt, which is mainly obviously about money.
That happens.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I know I know a lot of gyms that do that, and the more students you get, the harder sometimes it is to keep track. We're very loose with it here at Bali MMA, but we do have a lot of students, but it's more of a transit place, right? We have like maybe right now we have more people staying here than ever. I've never had like because you people students.
Have just come and go
It's
all the time.
It's always been like that. So you have like 40 people classes, 35 of them are just come and goers. Now is the time where we've had the most amount of like retain. We've been just retaining people.
What do you think about? So now I'm going to London, and I will try to join. We have a couple of gyms around. I'll figure out which one I want. So let's say like right now I have one stripe on my white belt. So if I arrive there, so I say like I did Bali MMA. Yeah. So this is what my one stripe or whatever. How do they take? Like how would they be? Do they try to assess me? What they would look at me like how I do stuff, and then they can give me whether they're going to give me promotion, not give me promotion in the future. Like what do you do when you get someone just with a blue belt rock up to your gym? Obviously to assess first, you look at their skill set, and then you see if when you're gonna give them next promotion.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's a tough one. You have to. It's just about communication. Actually, it's not tough at all. You gotta. For now, what I do, which I didn't know this before, I didn't know people would want me to grade them. So I would just never. If somebody came into my gym as a blue belt that I'd never seen before, he's not my blue belt, so I'm just not going to grade him. But now what I do is I'll talk to them after they've been there a couple times, 5-10 times. I'll be like, hey, who's grading you? Are you how long are you here for? Or are you looking to be graded here, or are you staying with your instructor? For me, it doesn't matter. But like I've had a blue belt here for like almost 2 years, and we never graded him, and we find out that he's kind of going to be here for a while. So it's your responsibility as the instructor to find these things out. So, but if you're going anywhere to a new gym, just train. Yeah. Just keep on training, and then a month or two. Nobody said you gotta let the coach know or the instructor know, like after a month, be like, hey, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the story that you come in with a blue belt or purple belt and the instructor is like stripping you off that belt? Is that?
I know gyms that are very traditional that if you're a purple belt, but you're not a purple belt with them, they might give you a white belt. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's rare more now, but if you go to a traditional school, I think you could run into those problems.
Right. Yeah, I was looking into a little bit of research about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and one of the pioneers who actually kind of made this name known to the rest of the world was one of the Gracie brothers, right? What was his name? Who was fighting? He was the only one who won 3 championships.
Was it Hickson? Henzo?
Yeah.
Which one?
He was one brother who won 3 championships. At that time it was MMA. And
it was either Hickson or Henzo. Yeah.
Right.
One of those.
And that's when they brought in. They just kind of the idea at the time was like to show different martial art types, different martial arts, and then who is best.
Yeah.
And like he proved that with BJJ, you just submit.
Hoist Gracie.
Hoist Gracie.
Yeah.
There you go.
UFC.
Yeah, that was some gnarly videos what I was watching. Like,
he's the one that kind of puts jiu-jitsu on the map. He won the UFC as like a small little guy facing these huge guys, submitting him. Yeah. He's the one. That was UFC 1. I think UFC 1, 2, and 3 maybe or something like that.
Yeah, and that's first time when it's not a film character. It's not a Bruce Lee who kicks people around on the screen. Yeah. It was real.
That was the real shit.
Yeah. And it showed exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
What else did I want to talk about BJJ? For me, it's definitely very excited. The C community, it's awesome people.
Wait, you really like jiu-jitsu, huh?
100%.
You're gonna stay with it?
Going it. Yeah, there's no doubt, and I think that's something what people also can do to quite old age.
I was gonna say it's something that you do. Obviously, the game will always have to be adjusted, right? But there's definitely a community in jiu-jitsu that if you stay with it, you become part of it. It's a nice community. You get to develop a lot of good long-term relationships and friendships with it, and obviously develop like a really beautiful martial arts skill that's actually proven to be super successful as self-discipline. And one of the things for me is that you actually get to spar all the time. That's the best part, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And
people
it's like,
can't wait to just spar each other. Like
and
that,
one of the Brazilian, Brazilian first martial arts for me was Capoeira. I did Capoeira in Vancouver for 2 years. Yep. And I really liked that, but I was not very sure about getting into that culture, learning the songs. You need to learn the songs. You need to do that, all that stuff, and it's not much of actual.
A choir to sing? Yeah, really?
no, it's. But you need to learn the song. Like so, when they do roda, when they go in a circle and they start their game, so you need to. If you out on the circle, you need to know the songs. You need to sing along and all that stuff. And at that time, I was like, yeah, this is cool, but I'm not sure if it's mine. But with jiu-jitsu, yeah, hands down.
We can start singing some songs.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Especially when they're just about choked out.
Yeah, we could.
Listen, we're almost done. Yeah. I can see you checking your watch.
No, we got 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're still good. We're still good. So he's going to be teaching. I'm going to go learn some new skills. Yeah. This is going to be my third no-gi.
That's it.
Yeah, but actually, like with no gi, I can see that I have a little bit more advantage or a little bit more.
I would say probably you're a little bit more explosive. There's not so much. For the most part, the athletic guy will be if you don't know any jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's better
they'll be better at it first,
but eventually, obviously, yeah.
It's gonna be.
So, but I really want to go both, no gi and gi. I think that's awesome, and especially no gi really shows you what you can actually, if shit goes down on the street, no gi is obviously way more applicable than instead of like if you just done gi and the person is wearing t-shirt, like what are you gonna grab?
Grab him and choke him out with the shirt
with the t-shirt.
You ever see those videos on YouTube with like one of the Gracies showing like street jiu-jitsu with like the lapels and stuff?
Yeah, but wearing what? If they wear t-shirt, what are you gonna
come here?
Go away.
No, I'll show you. no, come here.
Yeah, straight away.
You can still do it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you still can use a t-shirt. What about a tank top?
Yeah, you probably just want to fucking pop.
Yeah, exactly. Pop. Okay, and before, so the idea of this podcast is all about your blueprint and just see, and I'm collecting blueprints, and we kind of touched upon a little bit of your blueprint. What would be your blueprint in the sense of like kind of a motto, what you live by? What is your code, whether like mission statement, or what are the values you follow? Do you have anything like you can also suggest for someone who wants to pursue martial arts and getting into that?
Yeah, I would say like for now, I mean, martial arts has really been such a big part of my life forever. So I know people see me as like a martial artist or a jiu-jitsu coach now or an MMA fighter. So for the most part, we have a gym. I want people to feel welcome. I want them to enjoy their time with us as much as possible. I want them to learn new skills and have a lot of fun doing it. That's something that you probably know I do in my class a lot. We always have fun. We're always joking around. So hopefully they could do all those things with me.
Right.
Have a good time with it.
What would you suggest someone who just started doing BJJ? Someone like who, as you said before, people like struggle whether like, is this my thing? Is this not my thing?
Well, find out if it's your thing, and then just keep on going with it. Don't put your just look at it as a sick journey to be on for a long time. It's not a short time thing, and you want to get your blue belt and then that's it. Don't worry about the belts. Look at this situation that you're in and just enjoy the journey. That's like the biggest thing I could say, because it's all about the journey in jiu-jitsu and enjoying every aspect of it. The relationships that you build, the trust you build with your instructors and your fellow peers, and learning all these sick techniques, man. Jiu-jitsu sick.
What were one of the things or some things were you following as when you became a pro fighter? you would wake up in the morning and say like, this is what I need to do. This is this is my game plan, or you just always went with the flow because you just enjoy doing it?
Well, yeah, you enjoy doing it to a certain extent, but it's hard. MMA is a really hard sport, with for the most part, like very little return, So it was just a lot of hard work that was kind of ingrained in me from wrestling, and just really like persevere through the tough times, because there's a lot of tough times in MMA. You have big wins, you have big losses, you have big setbacks with those losses, which are also, you're getting paid to fight. That's how you're living. So you are living from fight check to fight check. So if you lose, that fight check's not going to be that big. When you win, for the most part, it's not that big until you make it big, right? So fighting is a really difficult sport, but it's taught me so many lessons in like perseverance, what hard work. It actually, hard work does for you. So I don't even know where we were going with that, but
no, it's just it's idea, like, what is your experience basically? What can you tell to someone like to young Anthony, who would is looking into, just graduate college, has this experience of being a wrestler, and now he's considering, I want to be maybe a pro fighter. So what would you say to young Anthony at the time? Would you say to do something different, or what you did was totally fine?
For my 20s and a little bit of my 30s, that was 100% the right thing to do. It was like the sickest thing I could have done. I got to travel the world. I fought almost 30 times all over the world. Fought for some big cards, man. Fought for some world titles and stuff. And I was so sick. And I would tell anybody that if they really wanted to pursue this, 100% pursue it. But if there's like any doubt, you got to go somewhere else, because this is not the sport. Because once you start cutting weight, cutting weight, doing these extra 3-day practices, then you go into your fight, maybe you lose. Like, you have any doubts, you're gonna be the first one out of this world, and then you just devoted all this time and energy to this thing. So you got to know you want to do it. And
you are retired for good. You're not doing any fights.
I really wanted to do one more fight, but then COVID happened. We kind of had one scheduled in Dubai. And then all that shit happened, and now I have the gym. I have a couple other things that I'm in, and then I have a baby and a wife, family. Yeah. I'm not sure if the opportunity comes up, I might do it.
What about doing a pro just no gi tournaments? Because they're getting bigger.
I've done so many no gi tournaments,
and they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and the money prizes are pretty decent and all that stuff.
It's not about money to me anymore. I wouldn't even give a fuck about that. It would be pure because I just want to do it.
Okay.
And right now, I don't even have. I've overall one-on-one competitions is probably over 300 matches. I don't even have that desire to go look at somebody and be like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. I just don't have it in me anymore, man. It's not like, it's just not there. But teaching is fun. I love teaching. I love helping people out. I love doing other things in my life. So I might have lost that spark, man. I might have lost the I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, but in the same time, you've been there and done that. That's the other thing. For me as well, I've done different martial arts, and I've done pole acrobatics, which was a big thing. I did for 3 years. I did all this messed up my shoulders and stuff, but now I'm fine. And some people say why don't you do it anymore? I was like, been there, done that. I don't want to do that anymore. Now I want to learn how to surf. Now I'm skateboarding. I want to do skydiving, whatever. Yeah. So you just move on. So now for future, what do you look at? It's maybe being a good coach. So you teaching?
I look at as being a coach.
Yeah, so that's kind of your perspective. Is there anything else you plan to do?
There's a couple of things that I like. I really like the business side of life, and a couple other things. But as for me being a coach, motivating people, helping people stay on the right track, giving people good foundations to start with, and making sure they're enjoying the process. That's my number one thing.
100%. Listen, in this one, we can just finish this awesome conversation.
Yeah, awesome.
And you are doing already amazing jobs. I'm very I love critique people.
Yeah.
Critique them. And I think that some of the best and most fun classes I ever taken is your class.
Sick. Thanks, man.
So, yeah. And Bali MMA is amazing. They're doing an amazing job. Like, Donnie is like just...
Yeah, Donnie's the man.
Super cool dude.
Yeah.
You know, he maybe could go see a dentist one of these days, but why would you do that? If you're a very...
He likes that front tooth.
If you're a rich hockey player in Canada, then it makes sense.
Yeah,
but dude, awesome, my pleasure. Man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.